Okay, we're going to give this a try. We're going to call this Take Two. Take Two on the Part 2. And the deployment class. I'm trying to find it here on my iPad and see if I can find this broadcast. Okay, there it is, and it says we are live. And let's see here if we are in fact live. And let's see what's happening with audio. We're going to give this a try. We're going to call. And let's see, Dur's in the house. We are back. Whoop. Okay, Craig, please help. I'm on the ledge and ready to jump. Our wag's in the house needing some therapy, some therapeutic restoration. And but speaking of somebody who needs therapy, Carlos bought that watch recently, and I think he's going to return it. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Yeah, because that was a definite fail there on the Carlos stir. So, okay, David's in the house. I am just hoping that this broadcast goes well. Audio is good, back to normal on the broadcast. I hope it stays that way, because I don't know what happened yesterday. I ended up deleting that video just because it was so terrible. Cool swim trunks, Craig. Absolutely. I wear Speedo swim trunks. There you go. I don't know what happened to yesterday's video and why it was all messing up. And then today I created this event, and for some reason it was private. And then I went in and I'm trying to look, and there's no comments, and it says comments are disabled, or I don't know what's going on. Weird foibles, weird things are going on with the broadcasts right now. But anyway, yeah, Carlos needs a watch intervention. So a lot of people, a lot of folks around need interventions. I think that's what we've got going on right now. And so this is a bug-free zone. We're not going to use those other words because we don't want to get deplatformed here on YouTube. But this is a bug-free zone. Chicks dig guys in a Speedo. There you go. Absolutely. And so here's the deal. We are going to marshal on this channel as best we can, assuming that the internet cooperates so that we can actually stream. We're going to try to marshal on. And Steve said the other day live on the show that he's going to marshal on. And a real litmus test is going to be, can they get the 002 in by the end of the month? That's going to be a real test to see if we can resume and get back to normalcy. The clasp on that, the deployant clasp, is made in Italy. So, you know, hopefully they have that already. I don't know. We'll see. Hey, keep our fingers crossed, as I said on the other show that I deleted. I think I may have said it on a couple of shows. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that he's going to actually be able to get that unit in stock by the end of the month, like he said. And he said live on this show that's going to happen. So I'm ready, willing, and able to make the road trip to Little Treasury in Gambrills, Maryland, and take a look at the Stunner. For those who may be just now tuning in, let me just switch and see and show you exactly what Stunner we're talking about. This is the 002 Stunner. And let's go real quick to the video by the Timster. Let's show a little bit of this. Let's go back to here, just so that people can see what we're talking about.
Thin dress series. So this 20th anniversary watch is graceful in yellow gold at 38.5 millimeters in diameter on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist, and it's thin, 10.5 millimeters thick with a nicely sloped case flank. It will easily slide underneath a tight dress sleeve. Okay, so we're going to stop right there.
And so that's the question. Is he going to be able to get it in stock by the end of this month? And he claims he's going to have 2 of them coming in. So, okay. Let me get on the comments here real quick, and then we'll get on to the show. We're going to talk about the clasp, the Deployant Clasp. We're going to rehash that issue. And let's see here. Craig, you were so right when you said that both attractive and unattractive women are a handful to deal with, so we might as well go after the hotties. Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of hotties, the lovely Brianna is slated to come visit either tomorrow or the next day. And stay for a few days. So hopefully we'll create some content and have some fun. And maybe if you guys encourage her, give her a little encouragement on social media, maybe she'll come on one of the live streams. Got to give her some encouragement, folks. We all need your calming demeanor and sensible talk. The world of a story. Okay, I think we may be getting close to my target of 40% down on the market. I think, as you recall, before this whole crash started, I was looking for about a 40% pullback. As you will probably recall, a couple of months ago, I said that I had sold most of my stock holdings and had gone to cash, anticipating a downturn. I'm not going to say that I knew that this virus was coming, but this was, in my opinion, by the way, this thing is the pinprick that started a downturn that we were already going to have. People say, well, this thing is the only reason why we're having this sell-off and these issues in the market, that it's not a financial problem. And if you look at the consumer debt loads and other debt loads and so forth, I think it's inevitable that this was going to happen, because people can only keep borrowing and spending money they don't have for so long. That's including the government. And eventually the party ends. And we had a hot market for a long time, and I think this was due, and I think this was just a pinprick. And I don't really think that this current thing that's going on right now is the real reason why we're having this big sell-off. I think it started it, but I think also now people are becoming aware of all the debt load and all the spending. And see, what they're doing now is they're going to lower interest rates down to zero, let people borrow even more money, and the rich are going to get richer. This is the way this works. The poor are going to get poorer, and it's going to be a mess. It's going to be a mess. So the money is going to be transferred from those who are a little bit on the ball. From those who are not on the ball to those that are a little bit more on the ball. That's the way this is going to work. This is going to be a big money transfer, is the way this is going to be. So, yeah. So I'm probably going to start buying back in with one more big pullback. I'll probably start pulling back in. I think that will be at about 40% at that point, and I think it'll be time to start pulling back in a little bit, but not all at once. And I've been buying some more Bitcoin. I bought some more Bitcoin the other day at around 4,000. I might buy some more at a little bit under 5, 4,800-ish or something like that. I might buy a little bit more. Dollar cost average in a little bit. It's interesting, Bitcoin did not go down as much today as the market did. The market went down like 13%, and I think Bitcoin went down like 6 or 7%. So I think Bitcoin's starting to stabilize a little bit, but we'll see. It could go down to $1,200. I mean, it's very volatile, right? If it does go down to $1,200, I will load the heck up. Not financial advice, but I will load up. Okay, so let's see what else we got here. 38.5 millimeter will look good on your Rest R Wags in the house. Yeah, I think it will. I saw the Betty Boop video. Yeah, that was kind of fun that Bree did. Bree, you did a good job on that video. Absolutely, that was fun. We should do a little follow-up on that. We should bring that outfit, because we should do some follow-up on that. Let's see. What do you think of the other Bitcoin like XRP and Joey? Are you joking? Are you trolling? No, skip the altcoins. Do not pass go. Do not buy the altcoins. They're all pretty much garbage. If you're going to buy something, buy the real Bitcoin. Again, not financial advice, but yeah, I would skip the altcoins. They're pretty much all scams. Down around 32% on the Dow from the high. Okay, yeah, so we got another 8% to go. Another 8% to go, and we'll be good to go on that. What else was I going to talk about? Okay, we touched real quick on the Bitcoin. Okay, so let's go into the clasp situation again, because this is part 2. I did run this video yesterday. The beauty of cash. We just talked about cash, right? I put this video up, okay? Just so you say you realize I'm not making this stuff up, right? I put this up July 24, 2016. I was talking about the beauty of cash, of having cash ready when you need it, right? Cash is king. You guys ever hear that? Here you go. Here's the video. I'm not making this up. I'm going to have to skip this
So you
ad.
need a freelancer. The obvious choice is going to Fiverr and finding designers.
Okay. Watch
Could
this.
title it The Beauty of Cash. And the important thing about having money is not to be in debt. Check out Dave Ramsey, and I've got some links on my website to some of his videos and some other information about this. And the key to
Cash is
building
king,
wealth
folks.
is
Always has
working
been,
hard,
always will be.
saving money, and staying out of debt. Don't borrow money. Don't borrow money to buy a car. Don't borrow money to buy a couch.
So let's pause that. Let's pause
Don't borrow
that,
money
puppy.
to buy a house.
It's on my channel. You guys can go and watch it. I don't make this stuff up. So here's the thought process on having cash available is when everybody else is panicking and everybody else, they're all selling their assets hard as they can sell them. And at any price, they'll like take anything. Oh, please. I remember when we had the gas crisis in around 1973 or so, 73, 74, we had that big gas crisis. And people were selling their Cadillacs dirt cheap, right? To buy some junky, tiny little import, right? They were selling their Cadillacs. And you could get Cadillacs for a song, right? And there were people that bought them up and then sat on them for a while, and after everything blew over, they made a killing, right? But they had cash. They had cash money ready to act. So a lot of times you get these opportunities where if you have some cash, you can swoop in and get some deals. So that's the thing on that. Not a fan of Doxo watches. Yeah, I mean, my gosh, you only got, well, some people wear watches on two wrists, right? But generally speaking, you're only going to wear one watch, right? Why on earth would you want to wear an ugly watch? Why would you do that to yourself? Wear something that's a stunner. Like if you want a sport watch, get a sport watch stunner like that one. If you want a dress watch, get a dress watch stunner. Like that, right? Something that looks pretty stunning on wrist. Now, of course, if I get the 002, that would be another situation. So we will see on how all that works out. Big baller, Craig. There you go. We got some dollar signs. Kevin in the house. Durr says 3 days since I got my SBBN 033 Seiko tuna, and it's running 100% on the money, not even a fraction of a millisecond fast or slow. Okay. Durr in the house. What movement is in that? That's not the spring drive, is it? Because I heard they're putting the spring drive in some Seikos. But I don't think they did in that. Certainly debt-free is the best to go. Best way to go. Brianna in the house. Brianna is a very smart young lady. Not only does she believe in not being in debt, but she's also buying Bitcoin. And Brianna says that she will, well, I'll tell you what, I won't speak for her. Brianna, put in the chat, when will you sell your Bitcoin? Put that in the chat. Put it in the chat when you will sell your Bitcoin. Give us a date that you'll sell your Bitcoin. And we'd like to see what you say. Madonna used to wear too. Okay. If only I could show you my stunner right now. Kevin in the house, I think I'd get the CraigShipp. Email CraigShipp, my name, CraigShipp, CraigShipp @gmail.com. Email me a picture. I'll show it. Got to take advantage of the bug discounts going on. Absolutely. Durr in the house. It's a quartz movement with a 5-year battery life designed specifically for the tuna. Whoa. Cool. That's killer. Absolutely. Now, is that similar to a 9F movement? Do tell. A new Seiko is looking great. SLA 033, cheaper versions, green on a bracelet. Okay, cool. We got to get Steve back on to show off some of those. What do you think about GS's new releases? We talked about them on a couple of shows. I think some of them are interesting. I'd have to see them in person, but I think some of them are interesting. And Bree says, selling won't be in my mind. In other words, she's not selling. Ever. There you go. Bree Fit Dance. She's got a strong hand. She's going to hold. She's going to hold. Come you know what or high water. Even if it's a bumpy sea like this, she's going to hold on. And she's strong. She's no joke. Brianna is no joke. She works out. Okay. Also, even Astron line looks this time great. By the way, follow her, briefitdance.com, briefitdance.com. Let me try to pull up. I think I have her website here somewhere. Let me see if I have it still. Give me a second. Don't anybody panic. I've got it here somewhere. There it is. briefitdance.com. Go to Brianna's website, briefitdance.com, and you'll find links to all her social media and all that. That was a Taken at Adventure Park, by the way, eating a pizza there. Their pizza is pretty good at Adventure Park, USA. So that picture there was taken at Adventure Park as well. Had a blast there. Okay, so anyway, follow her at brieffitdance.com. You'll find all the links. Okay. All right, let's go through these tabs. Let me know in the chat, by the way, if this broadcast starts breaking up, if we start having problems like we did yesterday. If I don't hear from you, I'll figure we're not having any issues. Speaking of the 9F caliber movement, I don't know why I had this in one of the tabs, but let's show this off here. There's a limited edition. Look how gorgeous that 9F movement is. Is that amazing that they do that kind of detail and that kind of quality on a quartz movement? Yeah, this is why somebody the other day said they were thinking about buying this one, this limited edition one with the gold accents. That's really cool. And they make one also with just the gold hands and markers without the bezel. I've seen it both ways. This one actually has a display back, that unit. But I think that's pretty much sold out most places. Okay, so let's close that tab out. We're going through the tabs again. Here was the one that I talked about that's like a snowflake with the gold. We talked about that yesterday. Pretty cool watch. He was comparing it to this one. He was thinking about buying that model. He was trying to figure which of the two, and I said, hey, look at them both. They're pretty awesome. And here was where we searched for that piece. All right, and here is the Crador, and here we're going to be able to see the strap, the buckle, the deployant. Let's watch this. The deployant clasp. Let's watch this. See that right there? Okay, let's go back again. I'm going to pause it. So there's the clasp, and it's going to be very similar on the 002, on the Grand Seiko. And I think it's going to work. I think that it's going to be trim enough. It's not going to be quite as trim as this bracelet here, but I think it's going to be trim enough because the watch itself is 2 millimeters thinner. And so I think it's going to work even with this. This is pretty much my tightest cuff. This one I have on right now, this French cuff I have on right now is pretty much my tightest. And so I think I think the 002 will work. I prefer the white and gold, okay. You got mail. Okay, let me check my mail. Be right back here. Let me just check this. Dun, 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 dun. And this is titled Kevin's Stunner in Action. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. That is pretty freaking cool. I like it. I like it. Yeah. Now, I have to tell you, I prefer the 002. I prefer the case design of the 002. See how those lugs almost look like they're kind of like stuck onto the case as opposed to flowing into the case? I like the the cases that have a more of a flowing design. Like, for example, let me pull up another picture here. Let me pull up a better picture. Dun, 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 dun. Well, I mean, obviously you can see it on this picture. See how see how they're just rounded and they just kind of flow into the case. But I'll show you a watch that I think even has a better case design. Just give me a second here. I'll tell you, this has a really nice case design. I don't like the gold. I'd rather have like an ivory color dial, but that has a nice case design. Let's see what else we got here. I know I had one. I even kind of like the case designs on these a little bit better. But these two have a little bit of a, you know, where they're not really flowing into the case as much as I would like. But on the Calatravas, let me see if I know I had a Calatrava in here somewhere. Oh, here we go. Here we go. So look at this case. See how the lugs flow very nicely. I like that flow of the case design. Let's see if we can get this bigger. Yeah. You see what I mean? And more like a oyster, like a Rolex oyster case does as well. That kind of the lugs that kind of flow. And even on this diver, they have a nice taper to them and they kind of round at the end a little bit. And so, yeah, that's why I'm not a fan of the super case. I would pass on the super case. Okay, so let me get back to these tabs here and make sure that we haven't forgotten to go through something. Okay, so we went through this clasp. Oh, for crying out loud. Okay. All right. Siri just tried to do something and I didn't want her to. Okay. All right, so let's see. We went through this. Let's go to the next tab. We went through the money. Let's go to the next tab. This was a watch somebody asked about yesterday, but we don't need to talk about that again. And here is a stunner that this is powered by, I believe, the 9F movement. So this is interesting. This is a dress watch, very similar case design to the 002. I don't think it's exact, but very, very similar. And a different dial, but really a stunner. And it's about the same size, 38.5 mils, I guess, by 10.2 mils thick. But it's got the quartz movement. I asked Steve, I emailed him the other day and asked him if that's going to be coming to the U.S., and he has not responded, so I do not know. I assume that's going to be Japan market only. But that's an attractive piece. The lugs on that don't, you know, the bezel is like up above the lug and all, but that's okay. That'll work. That's still gorgeous. You know, I'm nitpicking if I tried to nitpick that, I'd really be nitpicking. Here it is again, a bunch of different pictures of that same watch. And then here's a Patek, and again, beautiful case. Let's take a look at this. Let's go back a little bit.
The eye to the flank of the case, and then continues
I
to
don't
dance
like those indents
as you
on the
move the
lugs.
watch
See those
through the
indents
light,
that
even
they
in the
have
soft light
where
of
it's
the light
carved
box.
into
The watch
it.
has
I
a
really don't like
complexity
that.
when seen
I'd
in
rather that
profile
just be all
that's
full,
missing in its
solid.
predecessor. Now, one
But
other
that
key
is a
measurement, and you'll
gorgeous
note
piece.
in this profile shot it becomes
I mean, even
clear
with
is the
that
9.5
issue.
millimeter
I mean, the lugs
thickness
are
of the watch.
gorgeous.
Now, that's notable because it has one
That
of the
is a,
cleverest and most elaborate hunter case backs you'll ever see. So the thin profile of the watch is a triumph in its own right, and you can see that with a domed,
very nice,
slightly arced sapphire and bezel, this is an easy watch to wear underneath a tight dress cuff or sleeve. Now the watch does have a very classical straight pin bar and alligator leather strap.
very nice, very, very nice. So yeah, there are a lot of options out there for a stunning sport watch, for a stunning all-arounder. I would call this an all-arounder. And for an elegant dress watch. There are options out there, folks. So you don't have to buy an ugly watch. We've talked about this on the channel before. You don't have to buy an ugly watch. It's not something that you have to do. Let me refresh this, make sure I'm not missing any comments. A stunning sport watch. Okay. Let's see. Those are the reissue. I think they increased the size a tad bit. Which watch are we talking about there? When you say those, please, Kevin, be specific. Yeah. Oh, are you talking about the 3 ones for this year, the new issues for this year? Yeah, those are stunning. Let me pull them back up here. Let me find those. I've got too many tabs here. Oh, here, by the way, that in this tab, I had the clasp. So this was a watch that was for sale on eBay that has the same clasp. See there, made in Italy. That's basically the same clasp that will come on the 002. Okay. So that's why I had that in a tab. Well, I showed that yesterday. And let's see. And again, this is the Patek that we talked about, the 5127. Now that's an auto wind watch, and that has a screw down crown, so that would be more of an everyday watch, is the way I would see that, as an everyday watch. I wouldn't want an auto wind with a date as an occasional use watch. Now here are these dress watches. Again, these would be no date, and this would be manual wind. These are ideal for an occasional use dress watch, because you just grab it, set the time, wind it up, set the time, and go. You don't have to worry about a date or anything like that. And these are those reissues. This is to celebrate the anniversary. Let's see. 38 mils by 10.7 mils. So these are a little bit thicker than the 002. The 002 is 10.2 mils. So, and I definitely prefer the 002, and the 002 is actually less money than the gold stunner here in the middle. The 002 is actually less money than that, and I actually prefer the 002. But these are stunners. These are stunners. Absolutely, they're stunners. So, and Steve is going to be getting those in stock, I believe. R-Wags, love the alligator watch band on the GS Stunner. Okay. All right, so I heard somebody say that we have to count on the millennials to save the day on this current crisis that we're in. And I thought to myself, oh my goodness, if we've got to count on the millennials, we're done for. Sorry, guys. Sorry, those of you that are millennials. But jeez. Oh man. We definitely have become a nation of pansies, okay? Freaking pansies. All right? I mean, panicking for no good reason, just a hysteria and mass panic. And here's the thing. With the government, what the government does is they take every opportunity to grow and become stronger. And they love this sort of thing because they can take all kinds of actions, right? And all they need, you always hear them refer to, all we need is more resources, okay? More resources, you know what that is? That's code for more of your money, those of you that are taxpayers, more of our money, right? Resources. So just give us more money and everything will be fine. And then, of course, at the end of the day, they don't do anything to help anybody or anything. They just spend money like drunken sailors. So, oh well. So that's what that's what happens over and over again. And then somebody else said, I saw somebody else say, this is in my Twitter feed, right? I saw somebody else say, oh well, we can't blame China for this. It's not China's fault. Oh well, sorry, but whose fault is it? They cultivated the damn thing and they let it get out in the wild and they incubated it and then they distributed it around the world. And so who the hell else's fault is it? And they've done this numerous times. This ain't the first time. This ain't their first rodeo, right? So no, I won't be, I'll be doing just like I did 3 months ago. I'm going to be buying USA made products anytime I can. Guess what? This suit, Hart, Schaffner and Marks, this suit, here's the label down here. This suit was made in these United States. Okay? It was made in these United States. The shirt I'm wearing was made in these United States. Now, I do have to admit, the pen was made in Paris, made in France. Okay? This watch was made in Japan, which I'm okay with. I like the Japanese people. And it's not that I hate the Chinese people. I'm just not a fan of their government and the way they operate in any way, shape, or form. I'm just not a fan. Okay, let me see. I got a text message. Let's see if this is something urgent. I'm going to content the chat be for you. Okay. Let me just respond to this gentleman. Around after 6:30 p.m. or tomorrow after let's say 10 a.m. Let's say 10 a.m. Okay. Okay. All right. So anyway, there's an old saying from the 1850s. It goes something like, love everyone, trust a few, and paddle your own canoe. Something like that. In other words, be self-reliant, folks. Take care of yourself and your family. Be self-reliant. Have an emergency fund. Don't count on the government coming in and swooping in and saving the day. You know, be financially secure. Be prepared for almost anything. Diversify, right? Be ready. Be ready when the you-know-what hits the fan. And have a plan. That's what I say. And R-WAG says a nation of wussies. Oh, jeez. There you go. Yeah, Kevin, I got that. We got that covered now. Good. The world is ending then because this crisis is overblown. There you go. If I'm not wrong, Archie Luxury had chat with somehow to talk to you and tell you not to buy gold version of the GS you want. Archie said he's not going to, as he's not paid to persuade people. We talked about that on his show. And basically what he was saying, let me just respond to that. Let me just respond to this real quick. Okay, so we talked about it, and I, you know, and there were another guy on the panel in the show. They go, you'll lose money on that watch and all this stuff. And I said, I don't buy watches to make money. I'm not in the business of buying and selling watches. I buy watches to wear, and I buy a watch I like, and I wear it, and I use it. And if at some point I sell the watch, I figure I'm going to lose money. You pretty much always lose money on watches, including Rolexes. They're not good investments. Anybody that says they are is probably somebody that's trying to sell you a watch. You buy a watch to wear and use. It's a luxury item. It's a consumable. It's not an investment. So I'm like, why would I even think about that? Why would that even go into the mix of my thought process? I want to buy a gorgeous, stunner watch that's extremely well made, that is reliable, that tells great time, that keeps great time, that is comfortable on wrist. These are the kinds of things that I look for, and I think I've explained why I'm considering the 002. And I think I've explained why I bought that watch right there. And I couldn't be more happy. I'm tickled pink with that watch. That watch has exceeded all of my expectations. I would much rather have that watch than a sub with a super case. Not even a close call. Not even a close call. So, and I got a really good buy on that watch. And quite frankly, I can sell that watch right now for about what I paid for it, which is not good because I've had it almost 2 years. In money, when you invest money, you're supposed to make money. Now, if people buy high in the stock market and sell low, which a lot of amateurs seem to do, then they're going to lose money, right? But the whole idea of an investment is to make money, right? Watches are not that. Just so you guys know, a watch is something that you buy. For me, it's something I buy because when I have something on my person, either a watch, a money clip, a wallet, anything, I just like quality. I like when I interact with things, I like quality. And so that's why I like to have a nice quality watch on my wrist. It's just a thing with me. I just like that. And so my shoes are the same way. My clothing is the same way. And of course, you know, my women. Quality, man. Quality counts. Trust is good, but no trust is better. That's the beauty of Bitcoin. It's trustless, right? You just send your Bitcoin from you to the other guy. There's no middleman. I wired some money the other day. I sent a couple of wires, and we're having trouble confirming that they were received at the other end and all that. We're going back and forth and, you know, trying to figure out what's going on, and it's a freaking mess. And, yeah, the old system is ripe for disruption. I'll put it that way. If you're constantly worried about whether your watch will lose money, then you usually can't afford the watch. Good point. You probably shouldn't have bought it. You're overextended. Exactly. Exactly. If you wait a few years, you may be able to get the gold stunner at a substantial discount. Yeah, but if I want it now, I'm going to buy it now. I'm not worried about 2 years from now. I'm getting up there in the years. I may not be here 2 years from now. So yeah. And by the way, Steve will give me a good deal right now. If I buy that watch, he's going to give me a good deal. Trust me. I will get a good deal because I will be coming in there with cash money, and cash is king. That's how that works, folks. Just so you guys know, that's how that works. Let's see here. I agree. No more freaking wild animal markets in China. They're going to keep doing what they do. You know, the people are poor. I'm not blaming those people because here's the thing. They work in that lab and they use those monkeys and all for experiments and all that. They inject them with all these viruses and shit. Excuse my French. And do all this stuff. And then, you know, some poor person that works there, you know, gets a hold of the monkey when they're done with it or whatever, and sells it at the market. He's trying to feed his family, you know. They're starving. He's trying to feed his family. I don't blame him. I blame the whole system over there and what they do and so forth. And I wouldn't mind one bit being a little bit of an isolationist and just let them be over there and do their thing and we do our thing over here. What's wrong with that? That'd be fine with me. I have no problem with that. And then let their best and brightest, the smartest among them, let them immigrate here. In other words, steal all their brain power. We should be stealing the brain power from all around the world. We should let the smartest, best people immigrate to here and literally steal the brain power from all these other countries while we can, while this place is a desirable place to come to. We should be stealing all their brain power. And then we do even better. So that's the way we should be doing. Okay. Craig, a question. How would the greatest generation ever handle this crisis? My dad and your dad, they would be shocked at the reaction by Americans to this. It's not WW2. And some people are now starting to compare it to WW2. Can you imagine? Well, my dad, he was out partying with all the grandkids the other day. Took them all out to lunch. So obviously he doesn't care about getting the virus. They say that's who you get the virus from, is from the kids, right? He was out with like 9 or 10 of them. Took them all out, and they all had lunch somewhere, and they're out gallivanting around. You know, he's 92, 93 years old. And, you know, he was born in 1927. He'll be 93 this year. And he obviously isn't concerned about getting some bug. So there you go. I agree with you. Just wanted to confirm your thinking. Thank you. Craig, do you think we will see more safe Queen Steel Sports Rolex watches come up for sale? Oh my gosh, yes. These quote investors are going to start panicking pretty soon, and you're going to see a lot of panic selling, I think. And yeah, you're going to be able to get some deals on some of those watches. I would not doubt that. Especially, can you imagine if they come out with a sub this year that has improved lugs and everything that looks a lot better? And everybody always says, oh, well, that'll make the old model a lot more desirable. And that'll make the value go way up, right? And that, I hate to tell you folks, but that almost never happens. If an improved version comes out, generally speaking, the older version is a dog. It ain't gonna skyrocket in value. That ain't gonna happen. It's just like the old, what was the GMT called? The Batman, and then they came out with the Batgirl. The Batman is the older model with the older movement and the oyster bracelet and all, and the Batgirl has the Jubilee, right? The Batgirl, I'm sure, is much more desirable, and I don't even follow that market, right? But I'm sure the Batgirl is more desirable. Correct me in the chat if I'm wrong, but I certainly would rather have the Batgirl than the Batman. So there you go. Carlos says hello from Panama. More quality women, please. Kevin in the house, absolutely. Face masks are for pussies. Well, here's the thing, more quality women. When I bring more quality women on the channel, folks, you've got to support them. You've got to give them positive comments, give them encouragement. Don't attack them. Don't troll them like you did with Sarah, right? Be positive and support them. And don't say, why are you on this channel? We come here to watch content. Why are you on? Why is this beautiful girl on the channel? You know, you do stupid stuff like that, and of course they're not going to want to be around. Beautiful females like to be treated nicely. This is a hint. This is a power hint for you guys out there that are a little bit clueless. Extremely attractive females like to be treated nicely. Okay? Just a little tip. I'm just giving you a little tip. Okay? Face masks are for pussies. Jeez. France is on lockdown from tomorrow. Yet because experienced social distance eating potato chips in their mother's I'm not sure what that word is, but you're more sophisticated than me. Then their mother's basement for the next month is the same as storming the beaches at Normandy. And the problem is most of these trolls, they're normally in the basement eating potato chips, so they don't have to change their lifestyle one bit. They're good to go with the new normal here. Oh, geez. In London, bloke had a Rolex Batman, tried selling it to stores, 10K pounds, about 13K US dollars. Nobody wanted it. Well, no, of course they're not going to want it for that kind of money. You know, if he's trying to wholesale it, he's got to get a lot less so they can make their lick. Maybe the dog man, Mark Goldberg, will have a fire sale on his Rolex. Does he own more than one, though? I think he owns more than one, doesn't he? I predict they'll release a new black GMT Master on Jubilee. That'd be interesting. I had one of those back in the day. That was one of my favorite. Joey Ben, they like sugar daddies. Well, you know, they prefer men that treat them nicely. Absolutely. And a lot of times they don't want to date losers. And so yeah, if you've got a little bit on the ball and you treat them nicely, that'll work, generally speaking. My experience, it works. It's worked for me. Not time for luxury goods. It was one visitor on Bond Street, London at 5 p.m. since opened at 9. You know, it's interesting. Steve is still doing okay on his business, but he's worldwide. You know, he ships watches all around the world, and some people still have money and are still buying, evidently. Those were just typos, Craig. Android bag of hurt. Boris has closed the pubs. It's a disaster. Jeez. By the way, is that broadcast holding up? Is it solid? I meant week before virus, they would buy on the spot, no problems. Nowadays, they don't unless it's much cheaper. There you go. Yeah, this is gonna be, and here's the thing. This was coming anyway, even without this bug. This was coming anyway, folks. The bug just accelerated the process. Trust me when I say this was coming anyway. There are people that are saying, oh, well, as soon as this thing's over with, everything's going to rebound and be just like normal. We're going to be up at a 30,000 Dow, you know, in no time, at blah, 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 blah. I don't believe all that. I think it could take years for everything to get back to where it should be, because the buying public, the consumers, were overextended big time before all of this happened. And now they're going to be even more overextended because they're going to be putting more stuff on credit cards. They're not working. And you know, it's going to be a real problem for the consumer. And 75% of the market, the business in these United States, is the consumer. And they're going to feel the pinch, folks. So be ready for a protracted thing here. Don't think this is going to be 1 or 2 months of an economic downturn. I think it's going to be a little bit more than that, is my best guess. That's what I'm preparing for. So there you go. Let's see. And that, folks, is why one great Rolex or Grand Seiko is all they need. Try liquidating your huge investment portfolio right now and expect to get top dollar. Yeah, exactly. It's not a good time to be selling. I was telling people, you guys remember, on this channel, I've been telling people for months, sell those steel Rolexes. Sell at the top of the market. Get out while the getting is good. Let me know in the chat if you remember me saying that. Does anybody remember me saying that a couple months ago? Okay? Get out while the getting is good? Or am I just making this up? Let me know in the chat. Let's see. I have had an Android phone for a decade, no issues. David Williams in the house. He's the one guy that Android works out for. That's good. Well, he's a smart guy though. He's on the ball. Interesting news today. I know of 2 people selling Rolex GMT Batmans on Jubilee for cost plus 2K Canadian. So that wouldn't be a Batman. That would be the Batgirl if it's on the Jubilee, correct? Don't they call that the Batgirl? And that's got the new movement. That should have the new movement in it too. Banks lowered rates, so as you say, if alive, consumers will have paper money. So here's the thing. I mean, people are going to borrow even more money, and here's the thing: the consumer is not going to benefit that much from that because they're still going to have to pay interest. Right? The folks lending the money, they're going to benefit from that, right? But the consumers are still going to get the shaft. They're still going to be, slaves to the debtor is a slave to the lender. The borrower is a slave, right? That's how Dave Ramsey says all the time. It's true. Have to look on the bright side. Cheap flights to bangers and singers. Bad side, the Australian dollar has crashed. And Rancher was also telling people to sell Rolex late 2019. Well, I think he got that from me. I think he got that from me. Yeah, I've been saying it for a while on this channel. Let's see. Whoever in their right mind thought that luxury watches are blue chip recession proof investments. And Varchi the other day said people should buy Rolexes right now. Well, he's probably right if they can buy them cheap. You know, buy them from somebody who's desperate and buy them cheap. More to lose than to gain was said about 6 weeks ago about Rolex watches. Yeah. 0.25%, that is cheap money, but only for banks. I wish to borrow on rate like this, haha. Yeah, well, see, I'm not borrowing, period. I don't believe in being in debt at any rate. I'm not going to be in debt to anybody. So, yeah, people say, oh, you got to leverage, you know, you got to, yeah. Yeah, well, how's that working out for you guys now, those of you that leveraged? Got liquidated. Man, a bunch of people got liquidated the other day when Bitcoin took a dive, and a bunch of people's positions got liquidated. They got their, you know what, handed to them. I don't trade, man. I just buy and hold what I want to buy and hold. And now I do make moves. You know, like I say, I went to cash months ago just to be ready for this thing. So I make some moves here and there, but when I buy back in, I'll buy back in for, 10 years. I'll stay in for another 10 years, probably, before I'll do this whole rinse and repeat, this whole cycle. Craig, you did say sell Rolex. I did that last summer. Great watch. The wrist time crowded out by others was best to move it on. There you go. You sold at the right time. Will ceramic subs come back under 10 grand? Oh, yeah. I absolutely think so. I absolutely think you'll be able to buy one brand new. You'll be able to go into an AD and buy one brand new at list easily. I think that's going to happen. Russian ruble has nosedived due to oil. Ruskies no longer have money to spend. Well, there you go. Yeah, there's a lot of issues going on. A lot of issues. Just got an email from Crown and Caliber. The Rolex sale is almost over, was the headline. I don't think so. Yeah, good point. The next email you'll get from them is, sale has been extended. An emergency extension to the sale. Last time, last chance. That'll be the next email. I'm pretty sure the Pontiff is selling his Calatrava 5196. Good luck. Selling a dress watch during a global economic and health crisis. Bag of hurt. There you go. Yeah, it's going to be hard to sell just about anything these days. So, but here's the thing. The affluent still want to live well, still want to do their thing and make purchases and things like that. So upscale sellers and sales of upscale items like his Calatrava, he might still be able to sell that if it's a decent price. I think he might be able to do okay, but hopefully he got it for a really good price, so he'll be moving it on for a fair price. And I think it's the people that bought steel Rolexes for $10,000 over list, like Daytonas and things like that, or maybe paid $5,000 over list for a Batman or for a Pepsi. I think those are the people that are going to get their comeuppance, is the one that paid gold watch prices for a steel watch. And think, oh, I got a steel Rolex, I'm all that, Well, no, not really. A steel Rolex is just pretty ordinary. Whereas, a gold Calatrava is a little different thing. Now, a lot of his are white gold. I'm not a fan of the white gold, but there are people that are. So I don't know how much that is a detraction, but I'd rather have the yellow gold personally. I'm wondering, are the service centers keeping on working? I have a watch in repair. Thanks if anyone knows. I would think they would be. It's not like they're coming in contact with the public. I would think they would still be doing their thing. But again, I don't know, like Italy, that clasp is coming from Italy. Let me see if I can pull that up again. Give me a moment here. Not sure where it was. Oh, doggone it. Well, I don't know where it is. I had it here somewhere, but got too many tabs open, folks. Too many tabs. I'm going to close that tab. Don't need that. Don't need that one. I'm closing out a bunch of tabs here that I don't think I really need. And I still can't find the one that I wanted. Oh, here it is. Here's the one I wanted. Of course, it was the last one I clicked on. So that clasp, as you can see, is made in Italy. We talked about this. That deployant clasp that comes on the 002, that's the same one that comes on the 002. And that puppy is made in Italy. And you know all the problems Italy's having right now. I hope Grand Seiko already had the clasp in stock and that doesn't hold up production of the watch. Because Steve's not sure, but I think the 2 watches that he ordered from them, I think the reason there's such a long lead time, he told me he ordered them the 1st of this month. And it was going to be the end of this month that they come in. That's 30 days, right? So I think they're actually making those 2 watches specifically to fill his order, is my guess. Because that's a pretty long lead time, 30 days. So I don't know how long it takes them to make a watch. I know shipping something from Japan only takes a couple days these days. It's not like that takes forever. So it's not like they're putting it on a boat for like 3 weeks or anything like that. Let's see. I wouldn't sell a watch which I like just to try to torpedo the idea that Rolex retained value as nothing else. Pontiff goes on Casio and basic Seiko. Good start of a collection. I'm not sure what that all means. Archie was right about the very rich still wanting a pick-me-up during hard times. The number of middle-class people buying these watches thinking they're investments, that's all over. Cheetown in the house. We'll see. We'll see how this all plays out, but it's going to be interesting. Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of steel watches flooding the market. Don't panic, everyone. Nothing a drop of hot whiskey can't cure. There you go. Cheetown Club, have you purchased a Rolex yet? Okay. Thanks for doing this. Everyone is all in a panic. I worked at Costco and switched my shift to 2 a.m. to 9 a.m. to avoid customer contact. T-Con. You know, my buddy went to Costco today, and they were at the food court. They were only selling hot dogs and pizzas, I think. They referred to them as essential items. Good to hear that their hot dogs are essential. And it was carry out only. Buy and go. So, yeah, Costco is making some adjustments. But he said they had a pretty good stock of just about everything there. So I don't think they were even out of toilet paper. So there you go. I might go to our Costco later this week. I went last week and it was fine. I might go later this week. Brianna and I might go down there together and see what's going on. Let's see. Rolex aren't dumb. They cut their production way ahead of time before the recession hit, but these hype followers didn't pay attention. I haven't yet, Jason. I'd like to get an OP or a Datejust in a few years. There you go. I think that I don't know that they're really cutting their production. I don't know that I buy into that. I think they're pretty consistent as far as what they produce, and I think that what'll happen is if there's less demand, I think you'll just see more watches in stock at the stores, and I think that you'll see the gray market will take a hit. I think that's what's going to happen, but we'll see. Unfortunately, Craig, it seems very probable that I will be canceling my trip to D.C. I would had to do mandatory quarantine for 15 days when I would come back, or when you come back to Panama. Let's hope it gets better. Well, hopefully, let's see. Yeah, well, we're getting close. We're getting close to the time of your trip. Can you do it later on? Can you do it your trip in the fall, maybe? Maybe we can do it to coincide with one of Steve's watch shows. Maybe hopefully everything will be back to normal by then. That would be a possibility. But again, I don't know. I mean, if he gets the watch in, as promised, we'll be doing a live stream from there as well. You can obviously join in and watch the live stream. We're going to be doing as many live streams as possible just to keep everybody informed of what's going on and you know, again, try to marshal forward, try to make positive things happen. So, yeah, let me know, are there any other questions, any other things that we should talk about? We've been going now for almost an hour. Let me know in the chat if there's anything else we should touch on. And again, on social media, encourage Brianna, the lovely Brianna, to come on to one of the shows here and join us. I think she'll do that with a little bit of encouragement. Let's see, Jason says to Cheetown, I am still enjoying my new Seamaster 300. I'm looking at different models like the OP, not sure I could do without a date function. Datejust is great. Undecided between 36 or 41. If you're on the hedge between those two, I'd go with 36. And interesting on the Seamaster, I watched the Die Another Day, was it the Bond movie, 2002, I think, with Halle Berry. She's pretty gorgeous. Anyway, I like those older Seamasters. Not virus. Water went down the wrong way. They looked a little flatter on the wrist, those older ones. Let me know in the chat which of the Seamasters, the Bond watches, which of the ones you thought were the coolest. And what was the thickness on those watches? Does anybody know? Because some of the newer ones now seem a little bit on the thick side. Let's check the time here. Got about 3 minutes to the hour. Okay, so let's see here. Craig, what do you think of Red Wing boots? I know you use Russell moccasins for hiking. Actually, my hiking boots are Limers, but they're really heavy duty. I do have some really nice Russells. I really like Russells. If you can swing it, I would definitely recommend the Russell. If you don't want a full-blown hiking boot, if you want something a little more versatile, I would definitely get something from Russell, and they will make it for you to fit your feet. You will really, really thank yourself for doing that. Let me go ahead and grab my Limers real quick, and I'll show you. Oh, and I'll grab the Russells. Give me a minute. Okay. There we go. All right, so these are Russell. These are made by Russell Moccasin Company, and these, I think they're called Art Carver or something like that. They're traveler shoes, and super well made. I've only worn these a few times. I'm not traveling as much right now as I used to, but I've worn these maybe a dozen times or so, and they're super comfortable. They actually make them to fit your feet. And because of the moccasin style construction, the leather wraps up underneath the shoe, and then of course it's sewn on the top here, and that's what gives you just extraordinary comfort. And then for heavy duty, and by the way, these are solid brass eyelets on here, and you can get these in black also. You can get them a different color. Now as for the heavy duty hiking boots, these limers are probably 25, 30, oh geez, probably 40 years old. I mean, I've had these forever. It takes a long time to break these in. Limmer, I think limmer is the way it's actually pronounced, Limmer. And these are their customs, which are custom made. You can also get off the rack ones that are made in Germany, I think. These are made in the US. But these things are absolutely amazing, just super comfortable. They're heavy. But these I love for hiking. I use these hiking here on the Catoctin Mountain, and I take good care of them, and they hold up, and I've gone on quite a few hikes with them. I actually bought these and gave up on breaking them in because they were so stiff, and then they sat for like 20 years, and I kind of gave up on them, right? And then I read more about them and researched, and I don't know why I revisited them, and it said, hey, you really have to, it takes a long time to break these in. So then what I did was I started wearing them for like 10 minutes a day, and I'd wear them like 10 minutes one day, and the next day maybe wear them 15 minutes, and I kept walking in them, and they finally did break in, and oh my gosh, ever since then, they're just amazingly comfortable. But it literally takes months to properly break these in. So that's pretty wild. So that's the boots. And I've got other pairs of boots too. I've got Lucchese cowboy boots and other. I've got the ultralight Browning, made by Browning, the kangaroo leather boots made by Browning, but those aren't made anymore. Those were made in these United States also. And Russell was making some boots out of kangaroo. If you could get them to make some boots for you out of kangaroo, man, that would be fantastic. So there you go. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Okay, here I'm going to get caught up on these comments real quick. I'm looking to sell my Omega Seamaster 300M 2017 model 2500 with box and papers. There you go. Cool. Somebody might want to jump onto that. I will have 1 year to use those tickets. Okay. Oyster Petrol 36 or Datejust 36 are high on my wrist. What do you mean by high on my wrist? You mean high on your list? Both of those are great options, I think. Tried Aquaterra, very nice. Okay, there you go, blue. The Seamaster Professional is the one Pierce Brosnan wore, and yes, it was thinner than the new model and 1 millimeter smaller in diameter. Yeah, see, that would be the watch to get, I think. Carlos, do you find the date window takes up a lot of space, or is it something you get used to? I know I wore Datejust for years, and the window didn't bother me. My first watch was a Datejust with the engine turned bezel in 1978, the first Rolex that I bought new, and I loved it. Let's see, Carlos, I cannot think of that watch. I cannot think of that watch without it. Okay. How big is your wrist, Jason? Okay, Cheetown, California, Datejust 36 or 41. 6.5 inches, 16 millimeters. Yeah, I would go, if your wish is 6.5 inches, I would go with the 36 mil for sure. Seamaster Black and White 600M. It's fantastic, but is thick. Too thick for me. Yeah, I would pass on that too. Jason, also, I would not be able to read the date without the Cyclops. My watch is 6.5 inches too. I tried on the Datejust 41 and it felt oversized. OP 39 and Datejust 36 were more to my liking. Oh, I would agree with that wholeheartedly. I have a pair 1990s Red Wing boots, non-lace up. They're fantastic. Will last. Oh, this is probably a scammer. Okay. Will last a very long time. Highly recommend, though not sure of quality of current versions. Yeah, you got to be careful with Red Wing because a lot of them are no longer made in the U.S. You got to be careful with those. I have 7.5 inch and 36 inches fine. 41 would be too, but I really like the hidden clasp. Oh, I agree with that. I've heard Russell is a great brand, super durable and comfortable, and not overpriced like other brands. It's Allen Edmonds and Timberlands. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You get a lot of value for the money with Russell, in my opinion. The Aquaterra line became thicker from 2010, approximate with the caliber 8500. I prefer the thinner ones too. Yeah, absolutely. Cheetown, California. I own a 20-year-old Seamaster 300. Still wear it today. Love the proportions compared with today's model. I agree with that. Mike, is your Seamaster the Bronson Professional model? I own a 55-year-old Zodiac Seawolf, never serviced once, still works, plus minus 30 seconds. Yeah, another idiot made a comment on my don't service your watch video saying, oh, what are you, crazy? Would you do that to your car? You know, as if a watch is the same as a car. Yeah, I said, obviously you can't be taught. He's one of those people that just cannot be taught. Some people cannot be taught. That's just the way it is. Agree, wrist size about the same as yours. Wish Rolex would come out with a Datejust 39. The 36 is pretty good. 36 is too small for most men. 38 seems the sweet spot. I don't know about that. I think I wore 36 mil watches for years. The Day-Date was 36 mil for years. It looked fine. The Datejust was 36 mil for years, and I have a 7.25 inch wrist. They look fine. Remember, they have about the same size dial as a Submariner, as a 40 mil Submariner, because they don't have that bezel. So the 36 mil Datejust has almost the same dial size as a Submariner. So think about that a little bit. I have a 42 millimeter Planet Ocean and it's fine. Okay, 36 millimeter wasn't too small for me. Let's see here. I need to drop out now, folks. Thanks. I'll catch up with the offline stuff. Have a great day. There you go, Kevin. Have a good one. Yes, I know that is good if you're picky with the fit. Okay, Planet Ocean is an underrated sport watch. Okay. See you, Kevin. What is your wrist size? Okay, I believe so, but I bought it new in 1998. Has waves on the dial, which they went away from, and now back again. Very slim and 41 millimeter. There you go, Mike in the house. That sounds cool. They call, you want to sell your Bitcoin. No, mine's not for sale. I'm keeping it. Okay, gents, got to go. Carlos says, Jason, you have, okay. Craig, do you have the watch is perfect for me. I'm not as picky as Craig with the accuracy. Okay. All right. We're going to wrap this puppy up. This has been a good one, folks. And I guess it was stable the whole time and the audio was good all the time. I hope. Let me know in the chat if there were any issues. Otherwise, I'll assume it was fine. And I'm going to pull it up on the app here. And I'm going to pull this up and see if I can stop this broadcast. If I can do what I need to do. Give me a moment here. We've been going for an hour and almost 10 minutes. Let's see. Oh, click subscribe. Click the little bell so you'll get notifications, because we're going to try to do broadcasts more frequently. I can't promise every day, but we're going to try to do them more frequently if we possibly can. Thanks again, everybody, for tuning in.